right? And we go through the first function, which is called the sum, right? And today I'm going to show you the rest of the functions, and we can come to an end of the Excel then after. Right, so let me take it. Yeah, so these are some of the functions that we watched lately, right? And I'll show you the other functions, how the other functions is going to work. And I think we can remember what a function is doing, and fill out these things. 1 2 3 4 5 is missing. 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Fill those things. Right, so if I recap the things regarding the function, we learned that the function is having a particular name, and it starts with an equal sign, and we use the name like sum, like we can see the sum over here, and we use brackets, and then we can give the reference in many different ways. We can give the reference of the cell addresses, like separated by a comma, or if the cell addresses are staying together, we are going to give it as a range. And if it is random, of course we are going to we have to give them as separate references. If we need to refer two or more ranges, so like we can give one particular ranger and put a comma, and then we can put another particular ranger where we can have it. And I'm getting the yeah, sounds that someone is trying to log in, so I'm sorry for the disturbance that I'm doing during this. So yes, no one. Okay.
So there's a message.
uh, it was there. Let me see, let me see.
Yes, by student actually.
Okay, now where I can, yes, the message is over here. Right, Sanushi, right, okay, the page number 204. Right, okay, yes, I remember the way I the things that we were like discussing on. Yes, we'll go on to that. We'll go on to that, Sanushi. So then, right. So, like I said, we can go through two different ranges, and as well as we can go with a range and separate cell addresses. Right. So those are the 5 ways that we can write things regarding a function. Right. So now, when it comes to the other functions, there are 4 different other functions that you need to learn, right? So yeah, hold on a second, people, hold on a second. Suhara, 7 is correct, 9 is incorrect. There you should go with the 13, right? You have to put 9 over here and 13 over here. Hello, Ame. Class 18 over me. Okay. Persen. Mang, iwala magana. Right. So the other function names are going to be like this. Let me introduce you the functions. Hold on. Hold on a minute, Susu. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, people, my little one is around here, so sorry for the disturbance that you are having. Right. So the other 4 functions are going to be average, max, min, and count. Right. So the average function, it goes with the average, the way that you are going to calculate the average, right? So you can use the average function and give the particular reference that you need to find the average in between its brackets, right? And likewise, there are max, min, and count. So max is to find the maximum number from a particular range. Min is there to find the minimum number from a particular range. And count, it is a special one, which we use to find the number of values which are there within a given range. All right. So let me illustrate these things to you. Now, since I'm showing the formulas in this sheet, I'm going to the formula bar and off the show formula thing. And yeah, let me clear these things out since we know about those things. And yeah, look at this. Right. So here we have written the sum function. By using the fill handle, I can copy it over here, right? And the same function is going to be there. And since these things are relative, right? Since these cell references are relative, it's going to copy relatively. So in the previous one, it is E6 colon G6. And once it is been copied over here, it has become E7 colon G7. So it's relatively copied. And to find the average, we can use the average function. So it is simple as this. Equal, you put AVE, so you can find the average function as the second function that is listed over here. Either you can use the tab or you can click on the average, the name of this function, and it gives you the rest of the letters of the average function and open a bracket for you. And even you can select the area, select the cell range like this if the cell ranges are staying together, right? It doesn't matter which cell range that you are going to choose. According to the place, you can choose it. And if you want to choose randomly, you can use the control button and you can click here and there. So those values will be automatically entered into this range by separating a comma, right? So now we need to have the average of the sum. So what we are going to do is these are the range that belongs to the sum. So we select that range. So it takes E5 colon G5. Then even we do not need to close the bracket. If we just press the enter key, it will close the bracket for ourselves and complete the particular function, right? So which gives us the average but with lot of decimal points, right? So if we want to limit the decimal points, we can go to the home and we can use decrease decimals to maintain it up to 2 decimal points. Okay, people, are we clear about this? Yes, everyone, are we clear about this?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
great, great. Now, since I couldn't see your messages and all these things, it's better you communicate through the mic just for today, right? I will figure out what's going on with the Zoom. Right? Hold on a minute, so. Okay, that's nice. But will you teach me, teacher? Yes, yes, I will teach you once I'm done with it. Huh? Then I'll give this to you. Okay, okay. Right, so likewise, we can take the average by taking the fill handle and copying it to the rest of the cells. So which gives us the average of Nehara. You can see this cell range is being selected. And if I goes over here, It's been selected. And people, when you are in the editing mode of a function, if you accidentally click somewhere else, it's going to take that reference to your functions automatically. Can you see that? Right? So if you do it like that, either you can backspace and clean it, or you can just press enter and do a undo. So then it will go back to the previous functions that you are going to have. So it's easy. So it is given us what's the average with no time. And as I told you, the maximum and the minimum marks cannot be found using the functions, right? So there could be different kinds of bigger formulas for us to use. But in general knowledge, we have to just go through manually and find out what is the maximum and what is the minimum one from a particular list. But since they are asking maximum max mark over here, what we can do it, we can use the max function, equal max, right? We can put the bracket and we can give the range. So what's going to be the range, people? Tell me the range. Let's communicate through the mic, people. Yes, what's going to be the range? To find the maximum marks of maths, what's going to be the range?
Sorry, E5, then two dots and
Yes,
G7.
E5 colon E7. Very good reason.
Yes.
E5 colon E7, right? So which will choose the range of the max marks, and once I press enter, it gives me the maximum mark out of these three values. So now in practical manner, we can find easily what's the maximum mark out of these three numbers, right? But think about when the list is bigger, like when we are having like hundreds of marks, if we are going to find the maximum out of those. So this will be very handy when it comes to those kind of places, right? Okay, then the minimum, which is another easy one. So we can say
So I mean, mean
equals min. Yes, equals min. It is asking the minimum science mark. So that means we have to give science range.
F5.
F5 colon F7.
Yes, F5 colon F7. Yes, Rizwan, I think you are going to set the same thing,
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
right? F5 colon F7. So once we press enter, yeah, there it goes. And average mark of Nehara, we are asking it's over here. And the one way that we can do is we can use equal the average function. Okay, hold on, Susu. After this, so we can use the average function and we can give the marks which belongs to the Nehara here as well, which will give you the 70, which is the same answer of this. Now, since we have calculate the average on here in I6 cell, we can do this kind of a trick as well. We can just say equals I3. Is it I3? No, it's I6. Equal I6 over here. So that will take the value on the I6th cell. Right? Once I press enter, it will take the 70 over here. Right? So either you can use the average function, or you can use that it's not a trick actually, you are referring the value of I6 right over here in this green color cell, right? Are we clear about that, people? The things we have done,
Yes, sir.
right? Anyone who is not clear with it, so you can ask me to do it again.
Clear, sir.
Right, great. So we have discussed four different functions, which is in the previous week we talk about the sum function. Today we talk about the average to find the average, max to find the maximum number, min to find the minimum number, And now I'm going to show you how to find the count. Now, in case if we want to find out how many students were participating to this particular exam. People, I'm getting a call. Maybe it's can be by a student. So just excuse me for a moment. Hello. Oh, Kiana. Oh, yes. Uh-huh. කොහෙද මිස් මේ right, okay. Right, okay. So like projector screen එකද? Oh, කමන්නේ no problem, no problem. Mr. Projector එක on කරගන්න ඕනේද? එහෙම වමනාවක් okay, right, good. No worries. හරි. කමක් නෑ. Right, okay, no worries. No worries. කමක් නෑ miss. No, කමක් නෑ කරගෙන. Right, okay. හරි miss, right, okay. හරි.
Kathy,
Yes,
teacher,
Susan.
I have one last question.
Yes, what's the question?
And I will give this to you only if you show me the numbers on the board, the letters.
Okay, so you got everything correct. Very good.
And the faces, the
Yes.
humans.
Yes.
All of the things on the board.
I will after this one, right? Okay, sorry for the disturbance. So, yeah, now we were talking about the count function. Now, in case if we want to know how many students were participating for the math subject, how many students were participating for the science subject, or in case like how many students are there in my student list, in that purpose, we can use the count function, but you will see there is a speciality in it, right? So generally, what we are getting into our mind, if we want to count the number of students, so I'm going to use the count function over here, C-O-U-N-T, count. And what do you think about the cell range? What's the cell range that I need to present? Yes, any suggestions?
So what's the question again?
Like I need to count number of students, Rison. So what could be the cell range that I need to use?
D5 colon D7.
D5 colon D7. Okay. So let's take that range. You're talking about this range, right? So once I put that and then I press enter, it gives me 0. It is not because that we have choose the range incorrectly. It is because of the nature of the count function. Now, remember very carefully, people, count function is counting the cells which contains only the values, right? I think you can remember we talk about 3 different things that we can put inside a cell, which is labels, that means purely text or text and numbers together. Those are called labels. Then the numbers, that means values. Then the formulas, right? So count function will count number of cells which contains a value. So the problem was the range that we were given is like Savin, Nehara, Jehan, these 3 cells. This does not contain any value, right? So in case if I give these 3 instead of that, because it is the same number of marks that we find, like similar to the number of students, then press enter, it must give us the particular count or like the particular number of students in this table. So instead of using this range, I'm going to use this range to do the count. So I choose the values which is 90, 60, 45, which is under the maths column, and I'm pressing enter. So it gives me 3. So it doesn't matter which column that you are going to choose, either this or this or this, or you can use the total mark as well. Since each and everyone got the average, you can take that as well. Anything at all is going to give you the same value, which is 3. So be very careful on that occasion, people. Remember, the count is going to count the cells which contains only the values. Are you getting this point, people?
Sir, what is it again? Can
Rizona?
you explain it again, sir?
Yeah, Rizon, what I'm talking about is, as you told Rizon, if I choose this range contains only the labels, text type of things. These are not values. So when a particular cell contains a label, in simple terms, text type of things, count function does not count that cell into its function, right? To count the cell, it should contain a value like this, right? So when I give the range 9, this particular range, which is from E5 to E8, which contains 3 particular values, so it gives us the answer like 3. If I choose the cell range that you were saying earlier, D5 to D7, it does not contain values, it contains labels or text. So it does not count any of those cells because it doesn't have any values inside those cells. Got that, Rizwan?
Yes, sir.
Right. So likewise, we can go with the functions, and there are many other functions in the Excel, but for the moment, these are the 5 functions that I'm going to talk with you. So like we learn about the sum, we learn about the average, we learn about the max, we learn about the min, and we learn about the count. Right? Okay. Any last questions regarding this?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, Dua.
Sir, if someone was absent to the test, if we want to get the count, how should we do that?
Like you mean like the if you need to find the absent students.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like in case if you want to find the absent students, if you have to use a different kind of counting function, or else you have to use 0 on those cells. Then you have to select the cells which has only the zeros. Like as an example, Dua, let's say like uh, Nehara and Jehani is absent, right? So we generally use absent, the letter AB, but letter AB will not be able to count by the Excel, right? So what you are going to do is you can count this just by giving the range which has zeros. So in case if it has in different places, if the zeros exist in different places, like let's say Savini is absent and Jehani is absent, so in the count function you have to select them separately, only the zeros. So once you press enter, then you can take the count over here. This is uh, just one way of doing this. There are many ways of doing this and using different kinds of functions, right? There are, like as an example, there are functions for you to count. You can specifically tell count the cells which contains AB. Absent කියලා තියෙන count cells ටික විතරක් count කරන්න කියලා අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන්, but not from the count function. For that there are different types of count function like count ifs, count a, those kind of things, which is not in your syllabus, but you can always like try it out and search it out in the internet. Dua, did you got a satisfying answer?
Yes, sir.
Right, great. All right, so since we are done with this, let's write about these things, people. So yes, Yes, and the friend of yours who has said, is this the activity that we have to go through, people?
Yes, sir.
Do I come again?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So first I'll show you the answers for those activities. Hold on. As I remember, I had that in somewhere. Yes. Yes. So these are the values that you are going to get for those activities. So this is from uh, the function number 1 to this particular one. So please cross check whether you got the correct answer. So these should be the answers for the formulas. So I'll give you a minute or two, and you can just check whether you got everything correct.
Excuse me, sir. I had an internet connection problem.
Yeah.
I had
Rizwan?
this one. No?
Yeah, Rizwan, I am showing you the answers for the activity that we were supposed to discuss with the page number 204 that I have given you earlier. So you can cross check whether you got the correct answer. These are the answers. These were the formulas for you to test, and these are going to be the answers. Just cross check whether you got the correct answer. I'll give you a minute or two.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how it is. Are you finished?
Not yet, Suzu.
I almost finished.
Your Akilas are going to be here soon.
My Akis.
Mm-hmm.
So I can play with them.
You can talk to them, not play. They will be here. Right? You better have a talk. Otherwise, you can't face them. Yes, people, are we done correcting this? Does anyone need any clarification regarding any of these equations?
Sir, can you please explain the eighth one?
Yeah, let me number this for you, so I will. It will be easier for me to recognize. Do I come again with the equation that I need to discuss?
Eighth one.
Eighth one, this one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, right. Let me explain this to you. So it says b2 minus b3 plus b1 into within brackets d1 plus d2 exponentiation b1, right? Or like b to the power b1. So like first of all, let me I'm sorry. Let me take the equation right over here. All right, and let me map the things that we are going to deal with, right? So like if I map these things with these values, so what it's going to be? B2 means 5, right? 5 minus B3 means 1. And I'm sorry. B2 means 5 minus B3 means 1. That's nice. B3 means 1 plus B1 means, oh, hold on, did I jam it? B2 means 1, I'm sorry. B2 means 1 and B3 means 2 plus B1 means 5 into, inside the brackets, D1 means 2 plus D2 means 4 to the power B1 means 5. Now this is how it's going to be, right? So we only need to what? Solve this up, right? So first of all, we are going to concentrate on the brackets. So when it comes to the brackets, first thing, this is what it happens. 4 to the power 5. Now 4 to the power 5 is going to be a huge one because it means 4 into 4 into 4 into 4 into 4. So like 4 into 4 is 16 and 16 into 4 is 64 and 64 into 4 means 256. 256 into 4 means 1024, right? So I can check my calculation is correct just by using the Excel sheet again. So x 4 to the power 5 gives you 1024, right? So that means instead of 4 to the power 5, it's going to be 1024, right? So from this, now the bracket is going to solve with 2 plus 1024. That means 1026, right? So now the bracket is done. So now we have the subtracting, addition and multiplication. So multiplication takes first. So 5 into 1026, which gives you 5000 something, right? So like let's see how it's going to be. 5 into 1026, it's going to be 5100 and, oh my god, 260 gives me 1030, 5130. Yes. So this is going to give you 5130. Let me recheck it over here. Equals 5 into 1026. Yeah, 5130. Now 1 minus 2 plus 5130. So 1 minus 2. So since minus and the plus is on the same level, first we are going to go with 1 minus 2 because it is the one that we are finding from the left first. So 1 minus 2 is going to give you minus 1 plus 5130, which will give you 5129. See, it becomes a formula straight away, right? Got the idea, Dua?
Yes, I understood.
Right, great. Any more questions? All right. Okay, so let's move to the functions note, right? So we are done with this. Then we can have the heading use of functions to do calculations. and yes, then you can write these two things. Then I'll show you a table which is not the underneath one. I have a separate table for you to write with the examples. So with that you can cover up the things that you have to do with the functions, right? And people, be cautious about the time. It's 4:38, and sometimes by 40 or 50 minutes the this particular meeting will end up, right? So if it ends like that, we'll try to generate it with the same link, try to connect it through the same link. Since we have got a lot of disturbance over here, let's try to sum up this thing as quickly as possible, right? Okay, so let me know when you are done, people, and be a little bit quick. They are going to be here soon, Susu.
Are they close?
They are.
Beste ATM. Beste ATM. Vinne possibili battujande beste ATM.
High five. What does it mean?
Rain, go away.
That's right. Vessa vessa and means rain, rain, go away.
Yes. Rain, go away. Come again another day. Just little Johnny wants to play. Rain, go away.
Yeah, are we done, people?
Yes, sir. Done.
Anyone who is still writing?
I know.
All right, so you can copy this then. I'll show you the note. Hold on. Yeah, you may copy this table. So like this explains all the functions, and the sum function, I have given you 4 different examples which illustrates the way that you can write a function, right? Just the range and random cell references, range and a cell reference, and 2 or more kind of ranges, right? So the rest of the things I have put just one random example. So copy it out, people, so it will fill out the things.